Okay, so if you have been anywhere on social media recently, you have absolutely seen this stuff. Tall glasses of water, kind of slimy looking with okra pods floating inside. It's being called a miracle drink for pretty much everything. But what does the science actually say about it? That's exactly what we're here to figure out. And that's the big question, right? Is this the real deal or just another trend that's going to fade in a few months? So today, we're going to cut through all that social media noise and look at the actual research, the real numbers, to see if there's any fire behind all this smoke. I think this quote right here just hits the nail on the head. We're not hunting for some magic bullet that's going to solve everything overnight. What we're really looking for are those small, consistent, and scientifically proven changes. It's all about setting our expectations right from the start. So here's our roadmap. We'll start by pitting the hype against the science. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of that famous goo. After that, the really important part, what the numbers say about our health. And then we'll get practical, how to make it, who needs to be careful, and we'll wrap it all up with our final take.
All right, let's get right into it. The hype versus the science. You see these wild claims and dramatic stories online, but we're going to filter all that out and focus only on what's been studied in a lab and actually measured.
Now for the fun part, the science of the goo. So what is the secret sauce in okra water? Well, it all comes down to that unique slimy texture that everyone talks about. Turns out it's not just some weird side effect. It's a very specific compound with some pretty fascinating abilities. So let me introduce you to the star of our show, okra mucilage. And no, this isn't just random slime. It's a special type of soluble fiber. When you soak okra, this stuff leaches out into the water. And that's where the magic, or should I say the science, really begins. So how does it work? Well, it's basically a 1-2 punch. First, this mucilage makes everything in your gut thicker, more viscous, which physically slows down how fast your body absorbs sugar from your food. And second, it actually grabs onto bile acids, which is a well-known way that fiber helps your body get a handle on cholesterol. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, enough with the theory. It's time for the moment of truth, the numbers. Let's forget what people say and look at what scientists have actually measured in human trials. This is where we see if the claims hold up. So the first and probably the biggest find is all about blood sugar. And for anyone dealing with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, this is a huge deal. The research points to a real, measurable impact here. And here it is, our hero number. A huge meta-analysis. That's where they combine the results from lots of different studies. Found an average drop of 14.6 milligrams per deciliter in fasting blood glucose. Now, to be clear, this isn't going to cure diabetes, but it is a statistically significant, meaningful drop that can help with management. This next number gives us the bigger picture. HbA1c is basically your average blood sugar over a few months. A drop of almost 0.5% is considered modest, for sure. But it's also clinically relevant. It shows that this effect isn't just a one-time thing. It contributes to better control over the long haul. Okay, next up, cholesterol. Again, we are not talking about some massive drop here. Think of it more like a gentle nudge in the right direction. And what's interesting is that researchers have seen this effect even in shorter studies. And finally, let's talk digestion. Now, this is a really important point. To get the full fiber benefits, you probably want to eat the soaked okra pods, not just drink the water. That's where most of the fiber lives, along with other goodies like vitamin C and potassium. All that fiber helps with, regularity, and it can help you feel fuller, which is never a bad thing. So, we've gone through the why. Now, let's talk about the how. If you're thinking, okay, I'm curious, how do I actually make this stuff? Well, this next part is for you. A super simple, practical guide. It's honestly this easy. You just rinse a few okra pods, slice them open to get more surface area, and let them soak in water overnight in the fridge. The longer they sit, the more of that goo gets released. Then in the morning, you just drink the water, and again, for that extra fiber boost, don't be afraid to eat the pods. And here's a quick cheat sheet for you. A cup a day is a great place to start. Definitely slice those pods open for max goo. And a little pro tip, try drinking it with a meal, especially one with carbs. That's how you really take advantage of that sugar-slowing effect we talked about. Okay, everybody listen up because this part is extremely important. Like anything you add to your health routine, okra water is not for everyone. before you even think about trying it, there are a few really important warnings you need to know about.
Please pay close attention to this. First and foremost, if you take metformin for diabetes, you have to talk to your doctor. Okra can actually interfere with how your body absorbs it. Second, if you've ever had kidney stones, be careful. Okra is high in something called oxalates, which can contribute to them. And lastly, like any food high in fiber, it might cause a little bloating at first. The key is just to start slow and see how you feel.
So, we've looked at the hype, the science, the real numbers, and the crucial warnings. Now it's time to put it all together and answer that big question we started with. Should you be drinking okra water? And here is the bottom line. Is okra water a miracle cure? No. It's not going to replace your medicine, and it's not some magic hack. But is it a helpful supporting habit? Well, the science says it can be. It's something that can create modest, measurable changes when you use it to complement your doctor's advice and an already healthy lifestyle. So, the final question isn't really, does okra water work? The science shows it can have a real, if modest, effect. The real question is for you. Now that you have the facts, the actual numbers, and the risks, could this simple, evidence-backed habit be a smart part of your health plan?